Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Wise Guys Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. Hello. Um, hello, my friend. Hello. Um, Today I am on the hunt for OS 10 Mavericks. I'm hoping to find it on the internet. It was like a version. It was like, I guess, an interim version of macOS between the earlier versions and then the later versions. I think it was also the switch from cat-based operating cat named based operating systems to play locations around the world. So you had like panther, snow leopard, tiger, lion, mountain lion, those kinds of names. And then you switch to things like Catalina, El Capitan, Mavericks. Mavericks, I think, is supposed to be a place that in California that's known for having great surfing. So, well, who do we have? Hey, how's it going? Oh, you know what? While I'm here, I don't know. I'll just, beep, 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 beep. I am off to such a slow start here. I probably should have come on earlier. So, I'll throw out the link, and if there's someone I recognize in the back room, I will invite them on the panel. So this is also, I think, when Apple decided to go and start offering incremental updates. Hello,
Troublemaker.
howdy.
Hi.
How are you this morning?
Good, making pearl jewelry.
Oh, nice. Wait, what kind of jewelry?
This is actually professional grade pearls and sterling silver.
Pearls. Oh, man. There was this thing that I once signed up for a newsletter on, and I guess I still am on it, where you're supposed to learn about um pearls, and you could take these online courses, I guess, and trainings, and get, I guess, certified or get some sort of certification for uh, recognizing pearls and rating them and whatnot. But it's like I signed up for the newsletter, but never followed through.
Is this where I make stereotypes? You're supposed to be better at follow through as an Asian boy. Don't you know this?
Yeah, true.
Or at least supposed to have your mother on your ass making you do it.
True that. Let me see.
So, it was funny as I sat around with my friend Lydia, and we sat there for a while comparing notes on Native families and Asian families. Actually, when it comes to the in-your-face parents and the kind of redneck upbringing with the food markets and stuff, we're kind of similar. I mean,
cool deal. I don't know a whole lot about the upbringing of Native Americans. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, so I'm basically just trying to find an installer so I can upgrade this operating system to a newer version. Isn't the last compatible OS fucking?
It's all Greek to me. That's why I have my husband do everything like that. I mean,
how is he, by the way?
He's doing okay. He just left for work a few minutes ago, so.
Yeah.
When he takes his lunch break, I have to ship a package out to Robert and Steph.
Oh, nice.
You've seen them around my streams.
Yeah.
Robert actually ordered some of the pearl jewelry sets to give to his wife from me.
Ooh, cool.
But because they both sent me gifts and supported me, I stuffed a bunch of extra jewelry and bookmarks and stuff in there for both of them.
Oh, that's sweet.
So it'll be interesting. I'm kind of feeling a little today. But I do love what the doctors basically told me is they're deciding ruling on whether or not they think I have Tourette's, which took how many years to get into. What they basically told me is, you probably do. We think you do, but we can't officially diagnose because we can't test the parts of the brain we need to because of your other brain damage and scars from the seizures.
What?
Because they can't test that part of the brain because there's too much scar tissue there.
Oh my gosh.
So they can't give me an official diagnosis, but they all said they think I do. It's like, oh, well, okay, at least I get we think you do. So I told my mom about it, and I looked at her and went, so what they said is you probably have it, but we can't officially diagnose you. And my mother, so sweet, so loving, so supportive, looked at me and went, probably? I raised you. What do they mean, probably? I was like, oh, thanks, Mom. I mean, my mom has a way of saying things that just cut right through everything. I remember when I told her I was going to start streaming and doing the online stuff. She looked at me, patted me on the knee, and went, oh, that's good for you. I will never watch your streams.
Hey, at least she's brutally honest, right?
I took a breath in and went, really? Thanks, Mom. She goes, I've spent how much time with you? I can't hear your rants in person. I don't need to sign in to listen to that kind of language. That's like, wow.
Wow.
It's like, geez, I love you too, you crazy old bat. I mean, I love my mother, don't get me wrong, but there's times when she says stuff like this, and I'm sitting there looking at her going, I want to hurt you, old woman. I mean, I love you, but I'll hurt you, right? we have arguments, though, and I torture her. I do. It's both ways. So we're having this discussion, and one day I just got in this mood, and I started spamming her account, tagging her in all these posts that were different short memes and videos about being really short, like little pictures of like a tiny leg dog trying to jump up on an ottoman and falling on his back and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And telling her that I found her, or this is her spirit animal, or all this other stuff on these. And tell my mom sitting there going, watch it, child. You're staying with me. I know where you sleep. It's like, it's okay. You can't climb. Be careful you don't hit your head on the baseboard trying to get me. And she's like, I will get you. It's like, I'll watch out for my ankles. And it's all posted where our friends are reading it. They're like going, I was like, what? I'm teasing her. She's threatening me. This is normal.
So that's not working. That's working. Yeah, getting this computer was like, it was taking a chance. I didn't necessarily need it, but I was shooting for the remote possibility that it might be a newer system than I have, but it turned out to be another 2010 model.
Brilliant.
But at the same time, I paid $30 for it. So it was a good deal still, despite that. I think I need the other. So, do you like to work with the pearls that are like near perfect spheres, or do you like the ones um, that are
Like
imperfect that look?
the different shapes, the discs, the elongated pieces, stuff like that. I'll use all of it actually,
Yeah, I
depending
like
on what I'm doing.
I mean, I think the spherical ones are pretty, but I actually prefer the other ones more. The ones that are kind of like goofy, weird shapes, like rocks.
Like this, elongated, misshapen, teardrops, stuff like that.
Those and the ones that literally look like they were not fully formed into a sphere. Uh, like,
Like
what's a
this,
term?
little rock bit style.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's-
I've got a lot of pearls here, okay? They're
What's
expensive
your
as
pearls?
hell. They are expensive as hell.
All right, you know what? This stupid mouse. So maybe this mouse either maybe faulty or its Wi-Fi functionality went wonky or something because it is not reliably maintaining a Bluetooth connection. Let me see. I wonder if I could reliably. You know what? I could disconnect that. Let me see something here. Hello,
Post to get more stuff in the mail today for these projects.
oh, more supplies.
I don't have enough necklace cords for all of it.
Oh, all right. Excuse me. What kind of necklace cords do you use? Do you use like cloth? What like
I
string
will
or
use a lot of the cloth and fabric and string and those, but for these ones, because they're the high end pearl and sterling, they're going on sterling plated necklaces with sterling clasps.
sterling?
So I had to order some extra silver.
Oh,
My mom suckered me into making 20 sets of jewelry for giveaway stuff for next month.
what? 20 cents jewelry?
20 sets.
Oh, 20 sets. Ah,
Necklace, earrings, all. That's on top of the scores of dream catchers and other stuff that I'm making. So
you're like always working on a bazillion different projects. It's pretty sweet because it keeps you busy.
yeah, but
But,
there's moments where there's a skit from Drew Lynch where he's talking about his wife's ADHD.
uh-huh.
And he talks about they're hyper focused and short attention span at the same time, which means they're really good at starting projects. Do you notice how unsatisfying that was? And I'm sitting there going, I feel called out. What this means is she's really good at making a mess in my living room. I mean, it ends up looking like Etsy took a shit in our house.
Yes, you took a shit in your house.
Because I've had a running joke for a while that me and my mom were using with my dad and husband, and I continue it now, which is I told my husband, hey, I finally fit all my art supplies into a single box. And he said, damn it, woman, quit calling our house a box.
Do you get a lot of your supplies from Etsy, or do
No.
you? All right.
I have problems with how much Etsy charges and fees and what they do with relisting and shit like that. I don't like them as a company, honestly.
Oh, are they that bad? That sucks.
You can't do permanent listings. You have to relist all the time. There's 5 tons of things to fill out on every listing, and then they charge you listing fees. So on top of a percentage of your sale, you can't just make a bunch of stuff and just list it and wait for somebody to find it. You'll have to keep relisting it and paying them more money.
That doesn't sound very user friendly.
I've never understood how it became as popular as it did. It's not good for me because I don't do things. I very rarely do just custom. I very rarely do only a few things, you know. I tend to have a lot of stuff, and I don't like to make the same thing twice. So for me, it's not a very functional page. I mean, I get how it works well for people who are like selling stickers or books or stuff like that. It's not bad.
Uh-huh.
Because you can sell a whole bunch of things under the same listing and all this other stuff, so it's not as bad, right?
Right.
But for people who do like I do, and they're making a bunch of items that are custom per each item, we're talking about writing up a big, long description on every single item, paying a fee to post it, paying a fee to license it, paying the percentage of your sale for it, plus possible relistings and stuff if it doesn't pick up in the algorithm, all this stuff.
Right.
So when you're doing small items that aren't that expensive to begin with, that starts really sticking it to you.
I was messing around with my Bluetooth to remove my primary mouse on the new system and reconnect with it. And then I accidentally connected to a neighbor's smart TV by accident. All right, here we go. All right, now let's see if we're disconnecting from Bluetooth and reconnecting will help.
Well, actually, I'll disagree with that comment to the point where my making and selling this stuff is capitalism, first of all. Second of all, capitalism says let every business have a chance and try. What we have currently is crony capitalism, where government picks and chooses favorites and gives them special exemptions.
Welcome, Des. Capitalist, welcome to the only machine. Excuse me. Right, so I'm having issues with that. So let's try it.
What I love is the ones who are really hardcore anti-capitalist, but they run like pot shops and they're like making hand over fist money off merchandising the very things they said they stood for. It's like, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure that's a little weird.
Yep.
I understand the problems in every system. I understand that capitalism, like every other system, has problems, you know?
Right.
I just find it wild when people claim to oppose it. And sorry, I have rants and tirades. I'm just laughing at the people that are hypocrites. I other than that, every side's got fuck ups.
Can't post comments to certain destinations. Oh, I must be talking about that. So let's go over here. But I hope.
Look at the BS with a friend while I'm trying to get stuff done for people.
So what do you have a certain deadline for the projects you're doing for your mom?
Yeah, they all have to be done by the end of the month so we can take them over to her. But I'm doing well on that.
Nice.
And selling a few of them is helping pay for the rest of them. I mean, because it's not cheap work. It's not.
Oh, yeah. Please work. Please work.
Okay.
I've been encountering this issue as of late when trying to download. Um, the Mac community has historically been pretty good. Oops, hold on. Has been pretty good about trying to maintain uploads of all the older software because a lot of us still like backwards compatibility and stuff like that. Hey, LDG, what's up? Um, let me. Oops, I forgot it. Let me. Let me see. How do you do it again? Oh, I guess it's shift. No, it's not. Oops.
Focus.
I didn't want to do that. Are you serious? I thought I still had the full functionality. Let me try that. Oh, all right. If you feel like joining it, LDG, there's the link. Yeah, so historically, they've been really good about keeping online libraries of OS updates and things like that. So it's been easy to keep things updated, my system's updated, even if I don't have the physical upgrade discs, the DVD boot, the boot DVDs for the macOS.
That's a fair statement. It's fun to just click in and see who different people are sometimes. I'll admit that. I am very middle of the country American in a lot of ways, but not in the way most people realize. He doesn't put the captions on these, so the second part of my title isn't there, which is the part that explains why I look like I look. I am actually native with a mild form of albino condition, so I grew up in a very tribal culture. Oh, come on. Cooperate. Sometimes I get very irritated. I don't know why they like to drill these like micro holes when it comes to pearls, but sometimes it's like using the thinnest wire and you still can't get it to actually work.
So it's downloading.
Fair enough.
So hopefully it completes. What I'm finding with a bunch of these downloads is, they're each roughly 5 to 6 gigs in size, and it completes most of the way, but not fully. It doesn't get that last bit, and sometimes it results in checksum errors and other stuff. In other words, it doesn't mount the volume to the desktop, rendering it unusable, which blows. At least it's not like the olden days when I was working off like 28.8 BPS modems.
You realize to me most of that sounded like gibberish. I'm not a technology girl.
That's fine. I'm also saying it out to the audience out there.
I know. Bear in mind, my husband's an avionic engineer, and I'm not a technology girl. So we get interesting when he starts talking about work. Or when I start talking about work and I'm going off on all these things about history, mythology, literature, animals, and stuff, and he's sitting there going, with a spaced out look like woman speaking other language.
Excuse me.
People are interesting.
Okay. It looks like the same thing might have happened. Let me check something here. I wonder. Sounds like it's crunching away at something. I'm trying something out. I read a suggestion saying that I should try El Capitan, but that's quite a jump further. But sometimes updates encapsulate a few previous versions. Not often, but once in a blue moon. Just a moment. All right, so it doesn't want to finish for some reason, but let me try this as well. Excuse me. Dun, 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 dun. Test. I'm a white guy who grew up in Rhode Island. Again, Laos is a very weird place. Laos. I discovered a local shop stocked with about 2000 to 2004 hardware just in case. Wow, nice. That's pretty sweet. There's a. Let's see here. Open. Is this computer what? What the heck's going on? It says 0 seconds left. We got micros. What the? Oh, that link just re-downloads it? Okay. That's goofy. All right. So far, this doesn't seem to want to finish. We got a place called Micro Center, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like Toys R Us for nerds because there's all sorts of stuff. Windows based, Linux based, Mac based. They have little kits so you can like make game kit modules or use emulators and stuff to play the old console games. Dear. All right, so that was promising, but did not come to fruition. It didn't achieve the desired result.
Sorry.
Let me see. If you're running 10.8.5 or land, it can't be upgraded. Use that copy 10. Mavericks isn't the less compatible. Oh, for any net model by adapter. Sometimes I like internet forums, and other times they bore the hell out of me.
That's fair. Pretty much they bore me. That's not how I learn anyways.
Oh, great. So, that's enough of that for now. Let me see. Welcome everyone here, by the way. Let me put this delicately. I started college in 2001, and my preference for those girls, one, could buy some vintage webcams and camcorders, and I can't be able one who would love a discovery of like a 360 by 241 frame per second stuff. Just a thought experiment.
I don't get that at all. Anyway.
I'm not sure. I know the older webcams were like choppy and lower quality, kind of like mine, because the one I'm using now for this live stream is 800 by 600. So 360 by 240 is significantly lower resolution, so lower quality. So people might view my camera as like a potato cam, I think the term is. But it's enough to do the job. So that's all I'm concerned about. So what's weird is that. Oh, holy crap! I just wasn't patient enough, I guess. All right, so This is a long shot, but let's see if this will install. Let's see if it'll mount first. Gonna try OS 10.11, which is Mac OS El Capitan. Sorry, I didn't grammar check before posting.
Oh, that's not why I struggled with it. Me stupid with technology. I'm intuitive in my photography work even. I don't understand half of the settings. I'm really bad with technology. I could use more money right now, but hey.
Oh, that's interesting. It's still opening the mounted volume. But for one thing, doing it live for money barely existed. Oh, okay. Well, doing the online thing was something that didn't blow up until years ago. But anyway, there are bizarre mixes of Chinese and Vietnamese electronics.
I've got friends who would probably get really into that conversation. I'm just sitting here going, me stupid, me like window now. And I'm not stupid, I'm just not smart with technology. It's not my skill set. That's very strange for me.
Excuse me. Now let's see what happens. If it'll actually proceed or if I'm still going to get stuck. Okay, so it's going to do its usual check to see if it can be installed. You'll be guided through the steps necessary. This will take 7 megs of space on your computer. Initially, maybe, just for the couple basic files, but yeah, one of the, oops, typoed, I guess. I thought I hit the install software button. Did I typo it again? Holy frick. Alright, be super careful now. Oh! Typos 101. Check to see if your caps lock is on. But never what I really want, like Raspberry Pis or a Kindle. You actually want a Kindle? Going back to what you said before, I think Facebook really screwed up online forums. When Kindle first came out, I thought it was interesting, but I never liked the fact that it was black and white. But then they eventually released the color. But by then, iPads were out and other tablets. That cracks me up. Install time remaining about 5 minutes. Yeah, right. Sometimes the thing about online install application installers is that they, excuse me, they start off as a small program because they want the download to be quick. And then once it determines what kind of installation you're doing and how many features you're adding, it has to retrieve the files from the internet, as opposed to a full-on installer, which would typically take longer to download but contain everything already inside. Compressed, obviously, but oh, you'll love this. I got a console stocked with pretty much every 90s video game console and popular game, including arcade versions. Sweet. So what's a console look like? Is it contained inside like a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Nintendo? Because those are becoming more popular where you've got the emulation for all the classic arcade games. There's this guy I interviewed once on one of my streams. We still stay in touch, but I think it's 8-Bit Shinobi. He and his brother build these gaming cabinets, and for I guess 1,500 to 2,000, depending on how you want to customize it. You can get a cabinet, and it has one or in some cases 2 controllers, and it has like 2,500 games on it. So you could have things from Nintendo, you could have things from Sony consoles, uh, Xbox consoles, plus the ROMs from actual arcade games, all packed into a single cabinet. So you basically turn it on, scroll through a list. I think the user interface is going to be the biggest challenge on all these things that people release, because you want some easy way to navigate through the menus because there are so many. I think that's the challenge with streaming services. I visited some family in California, and they had a few streaming services, and it's like I got bored scrolling through their menus trying to find something that looked like it was worth watching.
See, I love the classic games, but I've tried so hard to figure out this emulation systems, and I can't save my freaking life. I'm not good at finding stuff. It's like, well, what do? I get the few I can get access to and go from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I can't. And I love the friends who go, it's easy, just do this. It's like, and then they give me the convoluted description of using code and hooking through and then cracking each game down after and all this other shit. It's like, that's not easy. There's no part in anything where that's easy.
Right. Yeah, easy is relative.
It's like, look, I love you guys to pieces, but unless you're like spoon feeding me, it's not easy.
Right.
It's okay to go, this isn't something that's easy for people who aren't good with technology. And by the way, while we're on this whole subject, they complain about the whole difficulty settings and claiming that that's about access for disabled folks. But they're making it fucking impossible, difficult as hell to program your controllers, to alter the layouts of controllers, all this other stuff that would actually help us. They're making it really difficult to get good controllers. They're making the controllers all uniform in shape, so people with different nerve and muscle issues are SOL. It's like, they're literally stripping all these accesses that are actually legitimate issues and then going, well, we want to help disabled people, so we'll make the game easier. No, just admit you like to play on easy mode sometimes. It's okay. I do too. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't make it about disabilities because you're lying through your teeth. And if you were really about disability, then most of these games coming out would not have freaking seizure warnings on them. Because it's 70 million people in the U.S. have different photosensitivities and seizure disorders.
Right.
You're talking about making a large group unable to access. You know? So it's like, just quit lying. It's not about us. You don't care about us and our disabilities. You're using us to pander so you can justify what you're doing. It's not about actually making things available to us.
Right. Yeah. That kind of stuff ticks me off.
And it's always just speaking for the disabled. Well, the people who have this kind of condition need this. People who have this kind of condition need this. And I always sit there going, right here, right here, right here. And it's like, I have those conditions and bullshit. That's not a thing. I've got this guy right now trying to claim that if you have chronic pain, you need easier bosses. It's like, no, you need more spots where it's easy to pause the game, take breaks. You need an easier to hold controller. You need things that'll help alleviate the muscle strain in your arms. You do not need your bosses to be easier. That's not a thing. I know. I got off on a tangent. It's what I'm arguing out right now with a bunch of dumb fuckwits.
Mm.
It's like they're sitting there going, if you're disabled, you just need us to make it easy for you because you poor thing, let's pat you on the head now. It's like, no, I may be disabled, but I like it to be hard. And if it pisses me off and I rant and rave or I struggle with it at times, then so fucking be it. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather struggle than have somebody pandering to me going, you can't do it on your own. Let's help you.
Right. Okay, well, that was weird.
like, ooh, yeah, let's help. Let's help. I'll help you. I'll help you shove it up your backside. I mean, yes, I'm ranting.
No.
No,
Just
no, it's not easy. It's not easy, period. It's easy for some people. It's not easy. And trust me, I've got friends who are trying to tell me, it's easy if you use this because then they do this. It's like, that's still not easy. There's no way that's easy for me. No way that'll ever be easy for me. And then I look at my husband and I go, honey, you're good with technology. Help me. And he's like, I just got off work. I don't want to deal with computers anymore. It's like, that doesn't help me.
I'm that way sometimes. But then before you know it, I'm back on the computer or on a smartphone or playing a game.
To be fair, he does avionic engineering. He does very intensive programming all day. You know?
Right.
And we're talking about stuff with millions and millions of lines of code, and if one goes one letter out of place or something, people can die. You know?
Yeah. Oh.
So I get it. I get that what he does is intense, and he doesn't want to be on the computers after. But it's like, but I don't know what I'm doing. I need help.
What the hell was that? That was weird. Okay, so what the frick? No. Or install. Because that didn't do it.
I am not sure what that comment means to you, but why that was said. But I would say it depends on the sense you lose and how you have to do things. I might have missed something because I was zoned out for a minute, but if I lost my sight, it would reevaluate my life because I would lose everything I do, everything I am. I'm an artist. I'm a photographer. I'm sight. If I lost that, I'd lose everything. And yeah, I would have to reevaluate because everything I do wouldn't work anymore.
Like this install, but oh, whoops. That's not the same thing. Huh. Okay. Well, we'll see if that does anything. Let's see. I lost my sense of smell in 2016. Sucks, but didn't force me to reevaluate my entire life. Sort of like one day you wake up and you now see only in black and white. Losing your sense of smell. That's crazy. That's like, well, one of the symptoms of the jab. Or actually the coof. Uh, that would suck because part of enjoying eating is the sense of smell because that contributes. That plus your vision uh, allows you to enjoy eating. But interesting to see COVID people who weren't exactly chefs or perfume makers going berserk. Sorry, it took a bit to write the second part. Oh, no worries. Let me see. Restart. All right, close other apps. Okay. Well, this is going to be interesting if it actually works. So I guess they might have designed a special installer to allow older OSs, like a helper application, older OSs to get installed on older systems, older hardware. So now it's acting as though it's installing El Capitan, which would be a trip, but El Capitan is OS 10.11, which is like 2 or 3 OSs further than this is supposed to be upgradable to.
I get the point he was making now with that, and I can kind of understand that. I mean, the people that act like everything was lost. It's like, okay, I went through it repeatedly. I had a severe reaction to a jab as a child that caused me all kinds of medical issues and made me allergic to the fillers and those things. So I can't take any new ones anymore. So I couldn't do that stuff. So even if I did think it would work, it wouldn't be possible for me. And so, yeah, with my autoimmunes and stuff, I went through it 5 times. I went through that coof tongue and all those other conditions. And there was a while I couldn't smell things right for like 3 months. And none of that fazed me that much. I didn't see that as that horrible. It's like, that's pretty tame compared to a lot of stuff I've been through and a lot of the stuff I've lost over the years. I wasn't too worried about that. So I think it depends on situations. Like I said, if I was to lose certain senses, I would go absolutely freaking nuts. But it's not the end of the world, people.
Installing, about 31 minutes remaining. This is going to be interesting. If the OS actually runs reasonably well and not slow, not like dog slow, then it'll be a win. I have the palate of like a 5-year-old. I hallucinate extra taste with familiar foods. Well, that's a workaround. What some might refer to as a life hack. I would probably end up doing that myself if the same thing happened to me. Yeah, but speaking to your point about controllers and game controllers and whatnot, yeah, it seems like they're trying to cater to the average shape and size of people's hands to capture as many people in the audience as possible at once. And they probably don't want to spend. I mean, I think in the long run it would be a good investment, but I think companies are reluctant to spend the money in R&D to make things for people with disabilities. And I agree with you on the part about epileptic seizure triggers. I'm not. I don't have epilepsy, but I do get kind of bothered whenever I see constant flashing.
Why is it in everything anymore? We can't get movies. We can't. I think we go to comedy shows anymore without them happening. Literally, they're starting to use them in some of the visual humor in comedy shows.
Really?
It's like everything. It's like infused. It's like it used to be only a few concerts would use them. If they did, it was like one or two songs and stuff. You can't go to any concert without strobes everywhere.
Oh man.
If I go to concerts, I have to literally sit there blindfolded to listen to it.
Right.
It's so ridiculous. And they
When
don't
I
tell you that they're supposed to be required to notify you of this so you don't buy it. That's not what they're doing. They're selling you these games. They're selling you tickets to these events and stuff, and then telling you as you finish it, oh yeah, by the way, this is photosensitive. We already fucking paid.
I think that's what happened with the Incredibles too.
No, that put several kids in a hospital because they didn't tell anybody the first week.
Yeah, and then finally the movie theater started posting signs saying to be wary. Please note.
Just started flickering worse. LEDs. That's the other thing. I can't use LEDs. My eyes, I can actually see the strobe rate in LEDs because that's how they light up is they actually fast strobe.
Oh dang.
And they trigger my epileptic migraines.
Wow.
And they're making everything LED now. It's like they flicker. They've been known to react to people with these disorders. Why are we making everything LEDs? I don't mind having LEDs, but can we keep some of the other options? You know?
Yeah, I heard that it's federal law now that LED bulbs are the standard instead of fluorescent incandescent. And like I tried to find the old fashioned style, even like the swirly looking bulb, and you can't find those anymore either. And it's like, LEDs like the most expensive bulb, and they've standardized on it. But it's like, I don't know. I have mixed. I guess when it comes to light bulbs, I'm kind of mixed because on one hand it seems like they work well, but on the other, bulbs never seem to last what they're advertised.
No, it used to be they advertised incandescents for lasting like so many hours, and usually they'd last like 4 or 5 times as long before they'd actually die.
Yeah.
Now they advertise all these LEDs and halogens and stuff like that for these like obscene amounts of hours, and they don't last that. They die in like a fraction of it. Like there used to be better standardizing with that. It used to be more rational.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not big on the idea of standardizing on LED right now, but I don't know. Maybe better analogy is breaking a leg. Attitude of this will be annoying for a couple weeks versus catastrophe. Lol, my LED light just started flickering. Zuck likely to start hyping this so everybody will apparently strap a giant thing on their head every waking hour.
I've gotten so frustrated in the last few years with this stuff, and yeah, I rant a little bit. I admit it. fully aware that I've got a temper. But it's getting harder and harder for me just to function because they're doing this shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's like strobe and flash and strobe and flash. And it's like, look, if I want flash, I could just go down to a park. I mean, sorry. Sorry.
Took a second for me to catch that. That was good.
It's just weird. It's just so fucking weird.
Yeah, and I'm not big on this trend to for companies pushing AI and augmented reality. Augmented reality is kind of fun in concept, but it sounds like they're just going down the path of Google Glasses and things like that, where they're trying to get you to live in this virtual environment.
I will not comply.
Yeah, instead of living in the real world and touching grass and stuff. Excuse me.
I like my work. I like being out with animals. I like doing things in the real world. I like being an actual productive person. I like when I'm sitting here and even sitting here, I'm working, I'm doing stuff. Screw this whole virtual. Ooh, I looked at this. I looked at this. I looked at this.
Yeah.
Great. What did you actually do that actually accomplished anything?
Exactly. I mean, all it's really going to do is make people even more sedentary than they are now. And I don't need help with that, being in IT.
I swear these people who keep saying that difficulty modes and stuff is about access. Well, they're making everything inaccessible to us with disabilities. It's like,
yeah.
No, fuck you. This is pandering bullshit. You're using us as scapegoat for your own lazy choices. Fucking own your bullshit. Own the fact that you like to play on easy mode because you like to be a lazy little bitch. Come on. Sometimes we all like to play on easy mode.
Mm-hmm.
Same reason why some of us will grind out like 20 levels higher than we're supposed to be in the RPGs. So we can overpower the enemies and just wallop the shit out of them because it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm there. I got it. I do it. Okay? Absolutely there.
Yeah, and yeah. And about that other older topic about not being computer savvy, I've been in tech support for, I think, 30 years now. And
God, you're making me feel young. And that's a feat since I'm in middle age.
and was kind of entertaining sometimes is the fact that there are lots of people out there using computers regularly for their job, but many still don't know or aren't familiar with what a Windows taskbar is and where the start menu is.
Mm-hmm.
They just learn enough to do their job, and I guess general PC training is not part of the training at most companies. I think they just go, all right, go ahead and click on this icon, open this window, go to this website, and bang, 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 bada bing, bada boom. Says it's cyclical, same hype, same shit since late 80s.
It makes me laugh because look, I like I said, I will play on easy modes on occasion, or if I get an RPG and it's got modes from like easy up to like insane, I'll play through every single fucking difficulty as a completionist.
Oh wow!
Play it on easy and then I'll just scale up each time I play through.
Oh well, I'm not even that good. I usually just stay like I start on normal or average, and then I just play it through and win it. And if I like it enough, then I'll replay it at that same level.
But I'm obsessive when it comes to the RPGs. And again, I'm turn-based. I like the strategy. I like the thought. I like to having to figure shit out. I like the grind. I like the earning it.
Did you ever play Heroes of Might and Magic?
I don't think I had that one, but then again, what I had was what I could find access to because I grew up gutter ass fucking third world. And then once we finally got out of the third world, we still lived basically second world and barely had access, you know?
Yeah, I think they're on version 9 or 10 by now. Actually, it should be later than that, depending on how often.
You have my Steam name, right?
I don't think so.
Well, you fucker. I mean,
DM it to me when you get a chance.
or one sec here, actually. It's kind of easy, actually. I can just stick the freaking code in the backstage here.
Oh, okay.
You can always send me games there if you find a good cheap game or something too. That's the friend code they gave me.
Okay.
Because I've already told people, if people will give me games I can play that are turn-based, I will fucking play them on streams. I don't care. Zero fucks.
Test says Quake 2 on God mode. Fun after a crappy school day. Yeah, Quake 2 was fun. In Excel, I only remember alphabetical arrangement. Oh.
I just find this stuff hilarious when they... Look, I'll be completely honest. There are absolutely times I will turn the difficulty down to the lowest setting and just beat the unholy shit out of everything. And take my aggression out on it. And there's other times I get mad and I want to crank that difficulty up and I want to really have to struggle and fight and get that rage, you know?
Yeah.
And it's okay to admit there's reasons and personality traits, and I have nothing against difficulty settings, but stop saying that they're there for disabilities. They're fucking not.
True. Test says, but I know how to find things easily and almost instantly. Cool. That's one of the important things about it all. Being able to find what you're looking for quickly. All right. Installing about 19 minutes remaining. I will be right back. Bathroom break.
Okay. That I just got a slight reminder in my head that I was supposed to order something today. So let me click that real quick so I don't fucking forget. In the cart. See the checkout. Pay with. Okay, so let's go back here. Move back to cart. Back to normal code. And place the order. Yay! Taken care of. I know, that's so entertaining, right? So this is the way things go with me is I do so much shit because I that's me. I don't understand these people who are like lackadaisical. They don't want to do things. They don't want to get involved in things. Like, look, can we just be active in society a little bit? And yes, I realize I'm sitting on a stream saying be more active. I'm also sitting on a stream with my feet on an elliptical under the table, pedaling at the hardest setting. Because reasons? I mean, if I can get another sale, I can get the rest of the gold-plated necklace cords I need for the last part. So, yay. I'm a happy girl, I'm a happy girl, I'm a happy girl. So, the goal today is to finish all of these jewelry sets with necklace cord and all, so that I can box them all up all fancy and photograph them tomorrow. And then people will see my pretty work. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I'm trying to think right now. I'm trying to focus. I don't know. I wouldn't call those Amish style, but I think you mean period related communities. I get that. I don't know. I mean, there's things that really suck in today's society, but there's things I don't want to give up either. Granted, I'm not technically over 40. I'm just 40, but still, I don't want to give up some of my stuff that's more modern. I like my little phone. I like my devices. I like some of that shit. I just wish we could turn off the pathetic side of today's society. That would be great. So as I work here, and I am working, I just don't know. Maybe that's just me having a lazy side. I grew up in the mountains. I grew up doing rural shit and hunting and trapping and shooting Bambi between the eyes so I can eat. I mean, I tell stories of crazy shit that I went through as a kid, and people look at me like, oh, wow, are you freaking kidding? It's like, no, that's real. That's real. That's my childhood, bitches. I mean, it's okay, I think, sometimes for us to acknowledge we like a lot of the old, but we like a lot of the new. And what we would like is to preserve the good about the old and embrace the good in the new and call out the crap. Fair enough. I mean, I've got that gotta shoot to live. I mean, my culture was if you ain't hunting, you ain't eating. And I think it's hard for some people to understand. And that's, I think, why I get some of the hate I do. Is I'll talk about hunting, I'll talk about trapping, and then I'll talk about being an animal lover. And they all get that, oh my God, you don't love animals, you love to kill them. It's like, no, I don't love to kill them. I think that's a whole misnomer with most hunters really don't like killing. Are there those who are sadistic people who like the killing? Yes. But most hunters, we do it because we need to and because it's the best way. And the animals we hunt go through far less misery and have a much better life than the ones in packing plants. And that's just the way it is. But it's gut-wrenching feeling. It's this mind-numbing, gut-wrenching feeling to actually do it. And most of us, there's no enjoyment in that. It's not sitting there going, yay! It's we shoot and then we cry or shake or we feel bad. We do what we have to, but it's very rarely a pleasure moment. And usually when there's pleasure, it's because you just fed your family. Or you just got some fur that you need to keep your family warm or stuff like that. Or you just defended your animals, your property, your family from a violent, dangerous animal. It's a complicated situation. But people don't understand that you can be an animal lover and still a hunter. They all see it like Disney's portrayal of hunters, Rescuers Down Under shit, Fox and the Hound shit, Bambi shit. This viewpoint that hunters are like this evil scourge trying to make all the animals orphans and punish and suffer them. And it is. That stuff's always been kind of something I just roll my eyes at most of the time, but sometimes get kind of pissed at. I was 7. I mean, I've never done recreational drugs or anything, but I could see where that would be an acid thought. I mean, I'm not quite sure I understand it, but maybe that's because I don't do that. So it's kind of crazy. And it still is in today's society. The problem with most of today's society is most people are removed from it. They don't think it's a big part of their lives because they're not killing the animal, or they're not out there using the crop harvester themselves. They're not seeing the devastation in the fields and the small animals that are affected by corporate hunting. They don't see this stuff, so they're removed from it. They don't think, oh, my life is affecting all these other lives. They think, oh, my life is, I go to the store and I buy something. And disconnect in that's actually unhealthy. When you're removed from the consequences, good and bad, of what you're doing and your impact on life all around you, it's easy to get lost in the haze and not realize what you're doing. I will do what's necessary for my family. I will do what's necessary to survive. That's not mean that I don't feel about it. Necessary things to survive.
42.
I know that I'm not the easiest person always to get along with. Let's be Frank. But I understand the consequences of what I do. I've faced animals that were hunting me. I've faced out animals I had to hunt. I've had to kill an animal to protect another animal. I've had to do all kinds of stuff. And it isn't a simple scenario in this world. Unfortunately, life isn't simple.
Trying to add you as a friend, but it's not recognizing that ID.
That is really bizarre because I'm staring right at it.
Don't you have like a username or something?
Yeah, one word, my username I use here.
Okay. It's very possible I'm doing something wrong, but I'm trying to do it from the app. Maybe I need to do it from the.
Like, I'm looking right at my account, so they didn't like shut me down or something.
Right. Maybe I actually have to do it from a computer.
What's your account?
Let me try and figure that out.
You're such a weirdo.
Well, it's Wise Guys Entertainment, Wise Guys Space Entertainment. But let me see here. User also is played as. Is that really view profile? Oh,
I found you just fine.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yep, sent it.
All right, thanks. I was about to give you my user ID, username.
So it should be if you click up in your name. Yeah.
Okay. So we should be linked now.
Got ya.
Cool. Thank you. Oh, how's your that one British friend who you used to stream with all the time?
Richard?
Yeah.
He's fine. I still talk to him all the time.
Is he streaming again?
Not really. He's a full-time carer for his mom now.
Okay.
Since he lost his dad, they don't have someone else, so he's with her all the time. And obviously, when you're taking care of somebody who's paralyzed full-time and you're in the same room with them most of the time, going on streams when they have a tendency to scream out wanting the British term for a cigarette is not good for streams.
Yeah, I can see that.
That'd be a good way to get a channel banned. And nobody's doing anything wrong in that. Mm-hmm. She likes her cigarettes. That's what they call it there. Nobody's saying anything horrible. But that doesn't mean that it wouldn't get YouTube all up in a tizzy. See, I'm conflicted on that whole situation with dissecting animals in classes because it's more wasteful life, because it's not for a specific reason other than education, which could be done without it, you know? It's not for food. It's not for defense. It's not for anything like that. It's just to educate people, and there's better ways now. I understand at the time why they did it, because they didn't have other ways they could teach people that stuff, you know? But I think that whole necessity is completely gone. We don't need to do that shit anymore. Yeah, well, like I said, the problem with it is she has serious memory issues from being an injured vet. So she doesn't always realize things. So she would blurt this out behind him while he's on stream. That's the problem. She's an absolute sweetheart. I love her to pieces. I talk to her quite a bit. But definitely she could get you flagged. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's things that can be done in virtual realities and computers and stuff now. We can actually show it much more realistic without having to cut animals apart. Like I said, I understand in the era when they started dissections why they do it, but it really is just a waste of a life now. And also, I have a problem with schools failing kids because they can't handle it. Because there's a lot of people who don't have that kind of mind or palate that shouldn't be required to be educated to be able to cut up something living.
Furthest I've ever gotten is frog.
I wouldn't do it, and I've hunted and gutted things. But I wouldn't dissect an animal just so they could tell me where parts were when I could read about it.
Right.
So I guess that's my odd one. because by the time I was 4, we had this whole event with my mom where we ended up, and it's a story and a half, but we ended up driving home with the back of the hatchback with a deer behind me with his head belted in the seat beside me, and then gutting it on the dining room table together, good floor together. And I was 4 years old with a knife helping my mom butcher a deer. It's like, I'm okay with this.
Holy frick. I managed to update to 10.11.6 El Capitan. Wow. This is unexpected. Oh my gosh. Let me see if it'll let me do OS updates via the App Store or not. Oh my goodness. Oh, but I am at 10.11.6, so there might not be any additional updates beyond that.
I laughed a lot as a kid at people who got all squeamish, and yet the squeamish ones did better with dissecting animals than I did. There has to be a purpose for me. The life has to serve a greater purpose, you know? So
I personally think it's extremely important to really grasp how none of this shit looks like it does in the book. Yeah.
I definitely think that's why they started it, is because they didn't have another way to exemplify that information in that era.
I think I more or less could understand what was going on because let's see here. Okay.
Because some people are very tactile learners. They need the physical and interactive representations to understand things.
Right. I hear you.
I'm just saying today's society, with all the ways we can actually emulate shit or create very close physical representations of it, it's not as needed in order to create that effect for learning now.
And there's a lot of technology that the medical industry uses where you have like a 3D model and you can move things at will out of the way so you could get a better look at.
Yeah, and they had those by the 60s. That's why I have this question of how long we should have been continuing the whole dissection thing.
Right. I mean, they could just implement that technology at a, user level.
And they can make realistic ones where they use like silicones and stuff that are squishy and add blood effects and stuff. I've seen it done.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be a trip. Yeah, like when it came to things like, all right, let's start.
And while it may be more expensive to begin with, in the long run, it would actually be a lot cheaper because you're not trying to get these crews and hire people to bring in animals and all this stuff every class, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wash it, reuse it.
It would be a wise investment. Yeah, but like when it came to real life versus book images, if the book images were clear enough, I mean, you could tell that veins and arteries and muscles were pulled to the side just to give you a better idea as to where they're connected on both ends. And, it made sense to me. I think that's why it was relatively easy for me to be comfortable in electronics and looking at diagrams and studying electrical circuits.
Mm-hmm.
In physics, the opposite of advanced is R word.
Yeah, again, that word was a scientific term, and it was a medical term. It was never a slur until some people decided to go, oh, that's offensive, so we're going to start using it to insult people. Just like stupid, idiot, moron, all these were medical classifications. They were not negative. They were not meant in an insulting way. They were medical classifications. It's like, people started using this medical term as a negative, so let's make it a slur. Are they going to do this with autistic? Because how many people say autist or look at the autism on this or stuff like that as a slur to basically make fun of how people talk.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that us autistic people have anything like that. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the term autistic.
Yeah, people have the choice of what to be offended by.
I'm offended at people being offended easily.
Yep.
Fuck your fifis. I mean,
same. Hey, have you done much research into technologies that are like that use voice recognition? Like, do you use your computer by just verbally giving it commands, or do you make use of those types of tools?
I don't.
I thought about playing with them and learning more about them because over time my vision's getting worse and worse, so that by the time it inevitably happens, or if it does happen, then I'll already be versed in what tools to use. But I don't know. Maybe that's one of those self-fulfilling prophecy things where you talk yourself into having new issues when you might not otherwise have them. Excuse me.
Eventually, my mind will go and I will not remember your name. I'm just going to roll with it and call you whatever comes to the top of my head then.
There you go. That sounds like a plan. I'm in total agreement with you about doing it today. Yeah.
And considering I have a head full of seizure scars and Parkinson's, I will eventually lose my memory and forget your name. Foregone conclusion. Yeah, but that's the thing. Today is a whole different ball of wax. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do it as a kid, though. I felt it was wasted life. I could gut an animal and eat it, but I couldn't gut it and just study it.
Right. Yeah, there are people believe that if you just kill something, you better be prepared to eat it so that it doesn't go to waste. And you use the skin for leathers and other purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And make use of every part of the animal.
And that's a very big belief in my culture, so. I was always raised with the belief you do not waste life.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. It's logical.
Most logical. Logic is a tweeting bird. I mean, sorry, I rewatched iMud the other night.
All right.
Blame the Trekkie, right?
Yeah. Excuse me. Do you find yourself rewatching the original series at all?
Well, that's what iMud was one of the episodes of it.
Well,
I watched it the other night.
Like watching a lot of it, I mean.
Or depends on where I'm at and what I'm doing. Okay. I am still a TOS girl by heart, but I'm also trying to see a lot of things.
I'm TOS as well.
The original series was just special.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've also been rewatching the old Muppet shows lately, so.
What the frick? I wonder if my system's gonna self-destruct now. Oh my gosh. I might have gotten carried away and screwed things up, come to think of it. Oh my gosh. Did I just screw up?
I don't know. I don't know what she did.
Oh, it's still in the. Wow. All right, it's still in the install process. When you install operating systems, sometimes, often, it'll require multiple reboots because it's installing in stages. But I was unprepared for that long tone. Usually, when there's any kind of almost like Morse code sounding things coming out of your computer, it means that there might be an error during boot up, oftentimes related to hardware. So hopefully this still continues to operate after I do these updates. I am so far blown away that I'm even as far as I am right now.
So, which is fair. I'm a big softie. Especially when it comes to felines.
This was 99. Apparently the cats were Mexican ones that would be cold regardless. Complicates everything, but I have zero interest in untangling it. 2030s voice tech will finally catch up to 60s sci-fi. Yeah, people are always talking about how they're expecting flying cars by now. Referring back to things like the cartoon series The Jetsons.
Or Back to the Future.
Exactly.
No, flying cars, there's too many issues where it wouldn't work.
Oh, man. There's more than enough problems with electric cars.
I was going to say, could you imagine unleashing these bad drivers on the road with flying cars?
Exactly. That's what I'm
Suddenly one of them falls through your ceiling drunk driving, right?
Oh, my gosh. I keep thinking the same thing. Oh, man.
Like, we don't need them unleashed in another way. They've already got too much access.
Yeah. And I'm wondering what it would be like. You've got all those people who suddenly forget how to drive when there's a light rain or even some snow.
Now picture them in the sky trying to navigate a 3D map and do that.
Yep.
Oh my God, no.
Hey, welcome, Billy Powermax. Hail. Sup. I appear to be making some progress, which is pretty sweet.
Hello.
If you're at all interested in hopping on.
And this crazy chick's just sitting here making jewelry, so.
Well, you appear to be bringing in the audience because I typically average 1 or 2 people per stream. Max is around 4.
I have no idea how many people are watching right now.
We're at 12 right now.
Yay! I also did tell everybody as Rex was ending his stream that you were starting yours to come over here.
Oh, that's awful sweet. Thanks. Des says LeVar Burton was my elementary school with both the Next Generation and Reading Rainbow. Yeah. Same. I like the work he did with Reading Rainbow. And he was pretty cool in Next Generation.
He's a bit of a jerk, but he's a good actor.
Yeah, agreed. I was about to say. I was about to add that.
But I'm not going to put him in anywhere near as bad as freaking Sirtis and McFadden.
Oh, right.
Gates McFadden is still running around with the stupid trying to claim herself a person of color ever since I called her out for her comments as a white woman.
Oh.
She's the one who had my first name false flagged to the umpteenth and got me banned on Twitter years ago. Because she said, if you're white, you're racist. And I went, you do know you're white, right, woman? She's fucking Celtic, and then her other heritage is an offshoot tribe that's at the point where Europe meets Eurasia, and it's one of the whitest it's one of the whitest Caucasian races in the world, and she's trying to claim herself a person of color. Yeah, fucking dumbass bitch. I mean,
welcome, Power Max Comics. What's up?
What's going on, man?
Hello.
The chick you're talking about, she does realize that a bunch of Irish people were enslaved, right?
No. She actually fucking bragged openly about using her money and her status in Hollywood to try to sway and alter elections in states that have the heaviest Native population. And so I said, in other words, you're trying to use a loophole in the system to legally gerrymander Natives out of our votes.
Yeah.
And apparently that pissed her off.
You can't have conversations with these people. It's just, you got to stop. You got to stop trying. It doesn't.
When her and her followers started attacking me, my followers got mad and started spamming her with "Shut Up, Beverly" memes.
Yeah. It might be a good thing they're attacking you. You don't want to fit in with them.
I know.
Eventually, the pendulum can shift. You don't want to be categorized with them.
It's like, you know, it's funny. If you want to understand their bigotry, I would be their icon if I towed the line. I mean, think about the disabled albino Native chick who's autistic and a survivor. I'd be their fucking hero if I agreed with them politically. But because I don't, they do everything to attack me racially and silence me.
It's this whole thing, like, where I am such a good person. I am such an amazing person, and I feel so deeply that I've got so much empathy that I should infuse on the world, and the rest of the world should have this unrealistic, unmeasurable amount of empathy that we should just impose on everybody, like that. It makes no common sense.
Des, she's not. Her heritage is known and documented. I am. I'm albino. I'm Native. I'm Lakota. But
it was like this.
Is obviously mostly Celtic, based just on the name.
You know, it's this whole thing. Like, empathy is like anything else. Too much of it can be dangerously unhealthy. And that's what these people don't get. I mean, it's just a balance is good. You're supposed to have a little empathy to keep you from not being psychotic, but not like so much empathy to where you will endanger you and everybody else around you. I mean,
warring with these idiots this morning who try to claim that game difficulty levels are about disability access. But almost every game out there has fucking seizure warnings and strobes and stuff, even though we have 70 million approximately in the US who have different photosensitivities.
I got it.
The same people who are defending that shit are saying, but you have to have difficulty levels for disability access. It's like, no, that's not for disability access. That's not for fucking disability access. I'm all in support of having multiple difficulty levels. Some days I want to overpower shit and murder it. Some days I want to really struggle and strive for the game. That's fine, but don't claim it's about disability fucking access. It's not. You know? Just say sometimes I like to play on easy mode and kill shit. Everybody would understand if you said it that way.
Yeah, just tell the truth. I get it. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't want to be challenged. I just want everything easy and waste a bunch of time.
The reason we game is because we want escapism. Sometimes we want that escapism to be fun and silly and not hard. That's fine. I have nothing against that. Just don't fucking lie about it, and don't use people as scapegoats to pander to try to get away with saying, I need this mode. People look different. People act different. It's okay to not agree on everything, as long as you're not a fucking douche. And that's the problem with Sirtis and McFadden. They're fucking douches. I mean,
yeah, we've also reached this age where, like, if you don't agree with me, you're my enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that. I hate both political sides, so I'm screwed on that anyways, because they all hate me.
People used to have a little more common sense.
And where did all of
used
this
to be like
shit start coming out again, where they're constantly bashing on natives and defending Manifest Destiny and shit again now? Because that's part of why the right's not going to win me over either. It's like, you guys realize you're being fucking scum right now. And why? It's almost always the same thing. Somebody who isn't native, usually some white woman who should be named Karen, says something about natives and stolen land, and the first thing everyone does is run around and start jumping natives and attacking native cultures. Like, we're not saying it. We don't fucking like those people either. Can you not bash us because they're dumb folks? You know? It's like, just common sense, right?
That's right. Common sense.
These are the people who get so pissed when I point out that if you look at the native culture and native community, we are the most pro-gun, most pro-constitution, most pro-life, and have the highest military service rate by handed. We're not the people that the left will like. There's a reason they keep trying to paint us as these pacifists, because they know we're not, you know?
Well, I mean, the first thing they got to do is erase you from every pro sports team and there is out there. Like you don't exist because they feel bad about it.
Orlando Lakes, where you take the land and you remove the Indian and keep the land, and that makes a lot of historical sense. Yeah. Your
image and something from your culture offends me, so because I feel so bad for you. Let's take it off of the sports team's helmet.
To those people, I usually start making Indian jokes just to piss them off. Like, what do you call a 7-course meal on the reservation? A 6-pack and a puppy.
What?
Speechless.
There's context to that joke, obviously, or how much is that doggy in the window? I'm really quite hungry, you see. Is that a Pomeranian or a pit bull? A real Indian delicacy. Yum, yum.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. I hadn't heard that one.
If you guys want some twisted native humor, look up Williams and Ree. They've been touring together over 50 years, and Ree is actually from my tribe, and they do the most demented shit. Their whole purpose is to make everybody equal by making fun of every race nonstop.
That's what comedy used to be.
And because they're the Indian and the white guy, they really go after the Indian and white, and it's hilarious.
Indian and the white. Yeah, I mean, I don't see, like, if white people wanted like a pro team, make named after them. I don't think it would be.
I mean,
it'd be like this. They could be like the white dudes. The white dudes take the field, and they can have like
the Vikings are. What do they think the Irish are? Come on.
They can have like khaki pants, colored pants, and like a teal blue shirt uniform.
It's like, why do people take everything so freaking seriously? Why don't people lighten up? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It's like they got a metaphysical carrot up the rear.
There was a point where Williams and Ree, the Indian and the white guy, the Indian from my tribe, was literally told when they went to do a show not to tell Indian jokes. So they did anyways after telling the guys they wanted, but that's a whole thing. So not long after that, they had a bunch of white Karens trying to cancel him.
Yeah.
Because he told Indian jokes as an Indian man, and that's offensive to the white women.
That's right. It's all about how they feel.
But we're not Asian. I know what joke you're getting at, but we're not Asian. Some of the tribes have Asian roots, not all of us. That's the other thing. Everyone always promotes either it's all the land bridge or it's all people of Africa, and it's like neither of those has ever been proven to be true. In fact, most of those have proof that they're not true. Some of the tribes have African roots. Some of the tribes have Asian roots. Some of them have roots where they intermingled and became their own tribes with some of the Vikings and stuff in the old days. But a lot of the tribes were already here before that, and they don't know where they came from. And why do people act like it's impossible that life could have also formed here, not just on the other continent? You know what I'm saying? It's like this weird viewpoint they have, like life can form in Africa, it can form in Europe, it can form in Asia, but it couldn't possibly form in America.
Oh, I got what you're saying. Yeah.
Wait, what? Why do they act like it's impossible that life could have also sprouted here?
I don't think they really think too far ahead. So I mean, the problem is you got to stop having conversations with these people. You can't. There's no win in it. They don't think about consequence. They don't think about like the stuff they want and the stuff they champion. They don't really think about how it'll affect them, how it'll affect the people they love, their future.
It's the hardcore SJWs, the hardcore anti-SJWs are both just different ends of the same shitbird that just wants lots of censorship and everyone to be like them.
The problem with the problem with the radical left, though, is left is not far left is not far enough. We know when the right goes too far. We don't. The left like has no boundaries, and you have to go along with everything. You can't go along with just a little bit. It's got to be everything.
That way anymore too. Again, I'm not saying this represents most of them. I don't believe. The thing is that most people on the right and the left and in the center are rational people who they have different viewpoints but can talk it out. When you take the extremes out of it and tell them to fuck off, it's really actually a pleasant conversation.
Yep.
The thing that's underestimated here, though, is how many people have turned conservative in the last 10 years. Because
that is a thing, but I will also tell you, as somebody in the other end of that spectrum, the conservative side and how they're embracing some of the anti-native and anti-black and some of that stuff now have turned a lot of people away from it as well. I know a lot of people who were on the right who have gone centrist because they're sick and tired of it. So it's a weird issue right now where both sides are alienating their base and people are either going to the center or the other side, and it's like flip-flopping, and they're getting more and more visceral as they flip-flop, and it's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe just a teeny little bit, but I see it.
It's not teeny. It's not teeny. I've been doing this for a long time. It's not.
I see people just trying to be pushed towards it, like backed into a corner, and to thinking that way. I mean,
I've literally watched threads multiple times. In fact, Razorfist did it recently, where he made this whole thread anti-native shit and started making every racist stereotype because we weren't even involved in the conversation. It was a response to somebody in freaking Hispanic culture, and he starts just making every racist claim and attacking my tribe and saying racist shit about us and claiming that we made up our entire culture to try to get gold and shit like that, and really insane shit.
Well, that is pretty
thousands and thousands and thousands of people that were supposedly calm, rational fandom CG people cheering him on and making racist comments about us.
Well,
and I'm going, what the fuck happened to our side, you guys? This is stupid. This isn't what we are.
Well, this is pretty powerful stuff there today, wise guy.
Yeah, and again, I don't do this to bash either side. I'm overall, yes, I would say I'm centrist. I've always had a little more leaning to the right, and most of my culture does. And like I said, if the right could out these nut jobs and not just say, okay, well, we can acknowledge the racial mistakes of the culture. We can acknowledge where there's still some things that need addressed and fixed, like the reservation system should not be written so that we're outside of the U.S. laws in a lot of ways, and yet still stuck trying to follow a bunch of others that make no sense because it's ridiculous big government shit.
Glitched. There's a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah. We can call out the problems and still love the country, and that's where I think that the other side, if they could work on that, would win so many more people over. And I tried to tell them this. Look, don't be unhinged. Don't get angry because somebody in this culture said something. I understand how battle weary we all are. But again, every group has good and bad people in it. Mm-hmm. The way to win people over is to find the common ground that we can all agree this is bullshit. Let's fix it. That's how to win people over. And that's where I'm trying to get people to see, because I think we can make a difference that way.
I get it.
Fudge nugget.
Curio, I'll just put it this way. This was not joking around. He made a really racist claim about our history and saying that our entire culture was made up so we could take the gold rush in the Black Hills and that our religion is fake. And he had a whole bunch of people that were his followers defending him on it, making horrible racist comments about us all just being a bunch of drunken casino owners and how we should shut up because we're conquered anyways and don't have rights. And they were not kidding.
Fully.
And they were attacking anybody who said, no, that's not the right thing to say. And I actually streamed on it when it happened and actually showed the comments in the thread and everything else. And he blocked me for saying this isn't true about this culture. How about you actually talk to people in it or talk to people from the area? Literally, because I said this isn't true. This is factually wrong. He blocked me. So that's where it's like, okay, well, this is what hurts us. And I don't think most of the people in these movements are. I love this movement. I love who we are. I've absolutely been CG for a long time. I love this stuff. And I don't like what the hard left has become at all. But we got to not become reactionary to the point where we start becoming caricatures of what they accuse us of being. Yeah. And that's a dangerous, easy line to fall into. And sometimes it's just because we're fed up. And so we lash out at anybody who says anything that we don't like. But in the end, we hurt ourselves when we do that. That was my point I was getting at. I'm not attacking CG at all. Trust me.
No, I get what you're saying. You're right. You're not wrong. I get what you're saying. I mean,
yeah. I believe in this cause. Now let's really, really make them cringe, because we have one of the most diverse communities out there by far.
We do, because we're made up.
Socially, religiously, ethically, financially, ethnically, we are one of the most diverse groups in the world.
Yeah. We just want more. We're more of a common sense approach to stuff. I mean, we're not anti everything liberal. We're anti everything that's insane.
The U.S. is one of the best countries in the world. And the thing is that the patriotism level is very, very high with natives. But we also have to address that the reservations, when they were created, were specifically created as a form of concentration camp to control. And so they wrote the laws, the constitutional loopholes, the treaties, you're a sovereign nation, but you're also a territory, but you're also part of the state and all this, in order to make it hyper-controlled and also make it easier to not follow full constitutional law at the same time. And so we have to address how to fix that. We have to break down the reservation system and just leave the land alone. They're sovereign nations in U.S., fine. I'm okay with that status. But when you add all the other stuff, it makes it ridiculous. And I've had people tell us, well, that's like that way because the natives wanted this. Like, no, it was written that way because they wanted to be able to exclude us from all these different laws. It was written that way during the Wounded Knee era, you know?
Yeah, test. That's you're right.
Mm-hmm.
reading the comment sections.
Yeah. And I also absolutely freaking hate the people who go, well, then give the land back. It's like, in order to do that, you have to take land and homes from people who didn't do anything wrong. It's not that simple of a fix.
True.
We can oppose the things that are wrong that are done today. We can oppose people trying to go for land grabs now because they still do it. They still do land grabs and go after the tribes. That mostly the Democrats usually, but they still do it. Mostly the Democrats. It does happen on the other side, but not as often. But we love our country. We want to make it the best version of what it was written to be that it can possibly be. We want to make it truly equal rights and fair. And the first way to do that is to stop placating to these idiots and the extremists.
Yeah, I mean, common sense is out the window. I mean, it's so much empathy, but common sense don't exist. I mean,
it's like, I will rip into the people who make these anti-Native, anti-Black comments, and then I will go rip apart these anti-white liberals and tear them a new one for hours on end. And I feel good about both sides because division and bigotry are not how to win people over, and I don't like it from either end. But at least I'm consistent, you know?
You don't beat bigotry by creating bigotry.
And it is the easiest thing in the world to do. You get sucked in because you've been through this, or this has happened to you, or you've seen this happen so many times, or even statistically, okay, some crimes do occur more often in some communities. Some crimes do occur more often targeting some communities. And you can get pulled into, well, this is being done to us. It's easy to feel that way with the Native stuff between the reservations and the trafficking, missing, kidnapped, murdered Native woman issue. It's easy for us to feel targeted and hurt. But at the same point, it's not most people doing it. And we need to find a place where the people who would listen to us will help us fix the problem that's causing it, you know? Because it's easy to get pulled into seeing somebody's hurting us. I can't trust this. I had that same attitude for a while with all the crappy relationships I had. I was very freaked out with men in general for a while, but it's not all men. It's like, it's not all Native. It's not all Hispanic. It's not all that. It's not all white. Just because some white people have made mistakes in the past, or there's still some that hold the old bigotries, doesn't mean most people who are white are that way. And the sooner we stop becoming the bigots we oppose because we get afraid of what's been done to us, the sooner we learn and grow and can work with each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I turned on the feminist stuff I was falling into for a while, because I realized all they were doing was feeding my pain from what was done to me. They didn't want it to heal because healing it would mean I would move past the anger.
Yeah, they want everyone in a constant state of fear and frustration and stress, and keep everyone segregated. So they don't want to work together.
Yeah. Divided we fall.
Yeah.
Excuse me. There you go.
You got to keep the masses. You can't let them band together because they'll band against you.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want real change.
And just sharing the truth about my culture with people when I can, doing positive streams about it, calling out the actual bigoted things that happened, like Grand Gateway Hotel and the shit they were doing to natives the last couple of years. But let's not put this on everybody. Let's not say that everybody's this way or we are not treated well at most places, because we are. It's a common sense. Call out the ones that are actually doing something wrong and defend the ones who aren't.
The problem is people band together and come up with a form of cohesive national pride. It's going to be really hard to implement that new world order.
Exactly. And the thing is, we are a melting pot for a reason. There is absolutely no reason why any of us should be hating each other for the differences we have. That's why I love the differences in this community. That's why I love the fact that some of the people I love to stream with are Australian, British, Asian. They're in all over corners of the world. They're black, they're yellow, and I love it. And yes, there's not many people, and even in this community, that are native, and there's sure as hell not much of any albinos out there. So I know I'm a unique little duck for the community, but I think that's what makes us great, is having the unique ducks with different viewpoints.
Oh yeah, you know it.
And being able to have a rational discussion where we're not angry at each other because we may not agree on every point, you know? But instead, just try to talk rationally and explain our viewpoints and find a common ground.
Yeah. Wise guy, what you been up to, man?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm rambling today. I'm in that mode. I'm on my hormones. Don't blame me too much. I mean,
you're good. I don't know if you caught my previous stream where I announced the new addition of the family, which is an iMac 27-inch from mid-2010. I have this habit of building up a computer library or a museum, as it were. And the challenge has been trying to get it upgraded to a newer OS. So I started at 10.8, and I finally made it to 10.11 today, and I just started an install update from 10.11 to 10.13, and I'm probably going to have to cap out at 10.13, which is High Sierra. I don't think the hardware is strong enough to support Mojave. But the install has got about 44 minutes remaining. Let's see. Des says, fear has always been the most effective thing and lasting way of controlling people by all things, not just governments. Anger is a distant second and dissipates. Other than that, I'm trying to find ways to grow my channel. I need to dig into those YouTube shorts, I guess. And I need to rebuild my lost public viewing hours. I'm still working towards trying to get to monetization level.
you should have been there long ago.
That's going to take a lot.
Right up there with me.
It's going to take a long time. Part of it is due to my inconsistency. I can't spit out videos on a regular basis. Are you monetized now, Rosa?
Yeah, over a year now, actually. I have about 2,300 some odd subs right now.
Nice. Do you have like monetization enabled so that you can get super chats and so that people can gift memberships?
Yeah, I haven't set up the memberships yet because I don't understand that. But once I get that set up, I have it. I do the super chats and that stuff though.
Nice. That's real cool.
It was animal shorts that got me there, honestly.
Really?
Little video clips I recorded of the animals when I'm not doing my photography work.
Oh. But those are pretty sweet. I watched a lot of those. So it's all about we're going to build or rebuild my channel since I was on a stupid hiatus of like a year. And started losing all my watch hours and started losing all my started losing subs as well. I'm surprised I have as many as I do still. I thought a lot of people would have bailed, but I lost maybe 5 subs in that time. So
I've taken a lot of hiatuses too. I know how that goes. So
yeah,
like I said, I'm still here and I'm still willing to help out when you need it, but
appreciate it.
That's for what it's worth here. I'm persona non grata to some people, and anyways, because I wouldn't just go along with their viewpoints. Because it doesn't matter how perfect a group is. There's always going to be the cliques. There's always going to be the people who want you to fit into their narratives. And It is what it is.
For sure, yeah. Let's see, installing about 43 minutes remaining. How have you been, Power Max? What are you up to?
I've been good, man. Just been working a lot. Been seeing your channel on, but I bet.
Do you have a campaign going right now?
I am fixing to have a campaign going.
All right.
We have a book that's 2 pages from being finished.
Ooh, wow. So you're
Well,
gonna. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, if he wants to promote, I still do those for people when they want to stream too.
Nice.
Oh,
I just don't seek people out to do as many of them as I used to because of just how busy my life's been.
Mm-hmm.
well, thanks, Eagle Rider. I think this is a good book. It's an important book. It's about it's called Last Days of the Bad Moon,
Okay.
and it takes place after World War III, after America's been destroyed and a new world order and the lizard people have taken over.
Ooh.
And it's about a superhero that's protecting a small village that lives on the outskirts of a major city.
Mm. All right. All right.
And it deals a little bit with the Mandela effect, CERN, and fixed timeline.
Really?
I've
Yeah.
also noticed these ones where they're trying to claim Mandela effect on things where you could actually track down the originals and prove they're lying on it. So it's like they're like gaslighting that effect on some things, which is really weird.
I'm a big believer in the Mandela effect.
It absolutely happens, but there's also ones that are trying to like squeeze some in and erase some things with it.
Mhm.
Like, and like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I know that was not true because I have the old things from that company that show the other, you know?
Curious Comic, show some pages. Well, you're looking at a piece of a page right here. If you can see my, this is a piece of it.
It's not shared yet. You gotta.
Oh, do you see it on my? Is it showing on my my streamline emblem?
Your avatar is showing, but it's very small and hard to see the details on.
Okay. Let's see if I can show. If you go to my Instagram, you can see Instagram.
Do you want to share that? If you present it to the green room, I can show it on stream.
Okay. How do I? Let me see more.
And the present button down below us.
Present. Below us, you're in the show. Stop camera, move, edit image. Let's see, share settings. Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
So from present, there should be a share screen. And then you should have like a couple tabs, the option of either sharing or I think it's 3 tabs.
I think I found it. Chat with anyone in the studio.
Not chat, but you want after you hit present at the bottom of the screen, you should have like 3 tabs, I think. One of them allows you to share something within in another tab of your browser. Another tab allows you to share something from a different application.
Stream this with your audience. Maybe is that it?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play with that.
Right below you. If you look at where we're shown on the screen, right below the little bar that has mute, stop cam, and those right next to Leave Studio is present. Click that button.
Yeah, I don't have a present button.
Oh, you don't?
No, I do not.
That's weird.
That is weird. All right, let me see if I can.
It should be there.
That's odd. Curious Comics is asking Rosetta, are you a writer?
Yes, but I haven't gotten a lot of it out lately. Used to do a lot of writing under old ghost and pen names. Now I mostly do a lot of poetry and short stories. I'm working on trying to get that stuff out, but it's a lot of it to sort through.
Okay.
Oops.
We'll have a trailer coming soon for our book. This book was made by me and Stephen Brown of Bullcat Studios.
Oh, Boldcast Studios. Okay, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
What's your ID?
On Instagram, Billy, just Billy Power Max.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like, there's tribes of people in this book that live on the outskirts of major cities that have implemented. They have like what's called like social credit. Now, that's highly regulated by the New World Order and the Lizard people.
Okay.
And they enforce these rules and these laws with these special robots. They're called SOI, systemic oppression yoders. That's a page from the book right there. Yeah. That's some fantastic artwork by Stephen Brown. Joan of Arc is the character in this book. That is Joan of Arc. That is Joan of Arc.
Let me know when you want to go to the next tab or next slide, if you will. Uh-oh. Did something go wrong with my stream?
I was wondering what went wrong with his sound.
Oh, dear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, that's
okay.
Weird. All right.
Yeah. Very proud of this work. That's a page in the book.
You want me to go to the next tab? Or
yeah, you can go to the next tab. Go over. So that's artwork by Stephen Brown. This is artwork by Pete Vasquez.
Pete Vasquez.
Yes, this is a character that's also in the book called Madam Bomb.
I love the name.
Yes. Madam Bomb is a very dear to me character. She is also in the book. She was a former actress that had an accident and deformed her hands. And so she has these expandable metal gauntlets, and her hands are full of radiation. And the more impact and damage she takes, the gauntlets expand and create more radiation, more power, more energy.
Oh, all right.
And she's a gorgeous actress, but now she's stuck with these incredibly deformed hands.
All right.
She's got Frankenstein hands. She is the Madam Bomb. Yeah, there's some concept art. This is another character we got in the book, Killer Nun. She is she was an orphan raised by a robot priest. She has the power of hellfire.
Church manuscript. So is your goal to complete the entire book and then crowdfund it?
Yeah, we were going to, before we went to funding, we wanted to make sure the book was complete. We didn't want no. That's Church Boy. Church Boy is a fun character.
You didn't want to,
and so we wanted to.
Oh no! Did the audio cut out again? What the hell?
You're gonna get this as soon as we go to funding, and you back the book, and our funding and our campaign stop. It won't be too long for you to have the book in your hand.
Gotcha.
And we have a publisher. That we have a publisher that we are that's going to publish this book. A really good publisher. We haven't made an announcement yet because we're going to wait to sign a contract. When the contract gets signed, then there'll be some major announcements as to the regards of who our publisher is going to be. So you know the publisher.
Okay. So they're going to take care of the printing for you as well as the fulfillment, or are you doing the fulfillment? Okay.
Yeah. I'm letting the publisher. He's going to do the printing and the fulfillment, and he's going to control the campaigns.
Gotcha.
Because I am fast at work with issue 2 of this book.
Ooh, all right.
This is a 3-issue arc, but what we've done with issue 1 is we've got issue 1 has a self-contained story within this universe.
Mm-hmm.
That's really fun, but there's a continuation of some of the side stories and subplots that will lead into issue 2.
Okay, all right.
And this is.
So I guess the plan is to start off with a 3-issue arc, and then
it's a long-running series.
Nice. How did you find your creators? Did you just do searches on the web and look at people's art, and once you found something that matched the style you were aiming for, you reached out to them?
Well, I created the concept. I draw a little bit, so I drew the characters. That's actually not my campaign. That's a friend of mine called Nora Drew.
All right.
These are some other stuff on my Instagram. But those are some of the stuff from the. There's some concept art that I did myself of the character of the Bad Moon. The 4-wheeler one's pretty cool.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So you did concept art and came up with the story and whatnot, and then you looked for some other talent to work with?
Yeah, so me and Steven have known each other for a while. We hang out in the same circles. We have some of the same friends.
Uh-huh.
And so he was looking for some stuff to draw one day, and I needed some. I wanted his professional twist on some of what I had, and so he started drawing some of my characters for me. And it's like, this is fun. I like these characters. What else have you got? And I'm like, well, I've got this character. You want to draw it? And he's like, yeah, I want to draw it. He's like, okay. And then we got to talking, and he's like, I got a whole script, man. And I got a whole script for this story with these characters in it. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, let's do this. And that's kind of how that happened.
I like the enthusiasm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, we like comic books to be fun.
Yeah.
And this deals with some pretty intense subjects, but we have fun. It's fun at the same time. It deals
with intense subjects, but you threw in some of the more kooky conspiracy theories people joke about, stuff like that, and had fun with it.
Oh, so we had a blast right now.
So at least it's not all taking itself 100% serious. I could tell that from some of the ways you described it. There's things you threw in that are considered more jokes in the conspiracy world for fun, right?
Kind of, sorta. It is.
Take the extreme
it's
version,
kind of a hell.
Right? And then his system cut out. Oh.
Okay, I guess it is on his end.
Yeah, so it's Clown World times 100. So yeah, it would be, if you're not in it and living it, from the outside looking in, reading it, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, the problem is we're getting more like that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't want that to come into fruition for sure.
Yeah, it'd be kind of funny. I mean, I actually wrote some of it as a comic. As I actually wrote a lot of comedic scenes in this, and Steven asked me about it, and he was like, "This is disturbing. What are you having me draw?" And I'm like, "You don't think it's funny? I think it's hilarious." And he's like, "Is it supposed to be funny?" I'm like, yeah, "This scene's supposed to be funny." Yes, Steven. When I wrote it, I almost peed myself laughing.
I guess I'll have to trust you on this then. Des says, if George Clinton descends from the mothership as quote unquote atomic dog, I'm buying 100 copies.
So given what we're talking about and what I'm cutting, my mic's cutting out, my bad. But comics and test. So given what we're talking about, I will give you a little bit of what happens in here. My artist and publisher are probably going to be mad, but I'll tell you. So we have these robots that are called SOI. They're systemic oppression yielders, and they implement social credit laws. And they fly out of a big spaceship called a Queen SJW. These robots do. And they fly over cities. And these Queen SJWs have a butthole. And these ships, these spaceships, they fly out of the butthole ship, the butthole of the ship. And they fly down to cities and they implement social credit laws.
Okay. Just by the names of some of these things is making me think it's a comedic book. Oh my gosh. So
you gotta have fun. You gotta take the piss out of things at some point.
Yeah, true. Where are you launching the crowdfunder?
I know one of the platforms. Well, we might do. I'm not sure. I know Fund My Comic might be a second. I'm hoping we go to Kickstarter first or Indiegogo, and then maybe do a second chance on Fund My Comic. But right now, I'm just I'm gonna trust my publisher and see what he wants to do and where he wants to go, because this is my first book. Although I've had this story and these characters for a long time, but I've had to kind of put myself in their hands and work with them to get this thing done.
Okay.
So I'd be a fool to stop trusting them now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Everyone, has an idea of how they want to handle their campaign, and then sometimes down the road they decide after the campaign's over that they want to take another approach. It's all about learning.
I think we're going to do good. I think that this is going to be a fun book. You're going to want to have this book in your hand. It's the first appearance of a lot of great characters. This book's going to, what I've said all along is this book's not only going to blow your mind, but it's also going to expand it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. And it's also a survival guide. And test here, and the traders running them are, of course, soy boys. And no, they're not soy boys. They're SOI, systemic oppression yielders. Okay.
What's that last word? Yielders? Systemic oppression. What is the word for why? Uh-oh. I think your audio just cut out again. Hello?
Oh, yeah, so they're systemic oppression yielders. That's what these robots do.
I'm not catching what the Y stands for.
Yielders, I think it sounds like.
Yielders, yeah, yielders. They yield oppression. Yeah, with a Y.
Yeah, Yoders. Is that the right spelling?
Where did the inspiration? Yeah. Yielding,
Okay.
yeah. Where did my inspiration for this come from? Well, let's see. I've had the visions of these have been in my head for a long time, in trance and in meditation. The story would come to me.
Were you doing anything to help that meditation?
No, yoga. I was wearing my best yoga pants.
That was not what I was getting at. But the image of a guy in yoga pants is enough for me to keep laughing at, so I'll go with it.
I look good in my yoga pants. Why is that? I've got nice calves. I do leg presses. So I got good quads too. I'm proud of the way I look in yoga pants. Although the front can be tight and ride up a little bit sometimes, but if it makes other people uncomfortable, that's their problem.
Oh, I'm not uncomfortable. I find it giggly.
Well, I'm talking about in my yoga class.
That's fair.
Even know how I identify. How do they even know how I identify anyway?
Oh. See, I don't care. I don't mind if I'm laughing and looking at sexual stereotypes. I'm honest about it. But I'm also not going to sit there and tell people not to do it either. I'll just laugh,
Yeah. And so I've had these, to answer the question in the chat, I've had these characters for a while. And I've had this story for a while, and it's changed over time. It's changed over time with the events going on and current issues. And I just kind of implemented some of that into the story, and now it's manifest. I'm a big believer in the Mandela effect because it's certainly affected my life, and who I am today. And
now I have a question for you.
Okay.
Since you're talking about wearing yoga pants. You've heard Tim Hawkins' song "Yoga Pants," right?
I have not. Tim Hawkins, isn't that the scientist guy that's in the wheelchair?
No, that would be Stephen Hawking's.
Oh.
Tim Hawkins is
I didn't know he did music.
Tim Hawkins is a comedian, and he did a song "Yoga Pants," which was about trying on his wife's yoga pants while she was away. It's funny.
Okay. How does he put him on in the wheelchair?
That's not him.
Oh. Okay. But yeah, so this book is going to
Stephen Hawking's, not Tim Hawkins.
Stephen Hawkins is the man.
Oh, no, definitely. There was a lot he managed to do for all his issues.
Yeah.
I know a lot of comedian stuff because I like listening to a lot of comedy stuff while I'm working.
Right on. Yeah, you gotta laugh.
You can't take the piss out of life. What's the fucking point? I mean.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So this book is also, and no joking, this also book is going to be not only is it going to expand your mind, it's going to blow it, and it's also going to be like a survival guide. You're going to learn stuff that you could have to deal with in the future, like dealing with CERN, dealing with Mandela effect, shifting upon you, the Earth shifting, and if we're confronted. You're going to learn a lot of survival tips in this book. So not only will it be very good entertainment, it's also going to be you're going to get a lot of good tips and hints on how to deal with life.
Okay.
I mean, that definitely benefits most people. I feel I've kind of got that being a mountain girl, I'm kind of used to the survival stuff. So,
Yeah, right on.
but definitely a lot of people could use that in today's society.
Yeah.
So, since we did this and we're sharing a little bit, I can give an example of what it is I do the most. Actually, give a few examples here. One sec. Scroll. Don't worry about putting me on big. I'll give you a screen share in a sec.
Curious Comics says stories do mature as you write. Yes, sir.
That's right. I am mature. That's completely true. I am mature. I'm a mature writer. Thank you.
So, in terms of the survivor guide aspect, do you have this knowledge because you do extensive research on this stuff? You have some personal experiences that you're drawing from?
Yes. Next question.
Des says, I am interested in similar physics stuff called retro causality and weird shit that doesn't seem to give a fuck about the laws of time or causality.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. The laws of time are causality. Yeah. Like, how do you know you're not shifted? How do you know that another version of you has not collapsed upon your identity? How do you know you don't have three different yous inside you? You ever just woke up one day and had like a new talent, a new gift, or a new taste for a different kind of food you never had before? Or you know somebody you never met before? And like, how do I know you? I don't know you. I don't know. And like, why are you following me around the store? Because I know you. And you know, and like, get away from me.
All right, so I can give you a few examples here real quick. This is a very rudimentary example of some of the stuff I do, mind you. So, there you go, guys. I am more than anything else the photographer.
Whoops. Come on, cursor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is glitching.
I've got a few examples of a few of my recent shots here.
Oh, man. Eagles.
Bald eagles.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time eagle tracking. There's a reason I use the name I do.
Well, that one's pissed.
This one, it's, if you look here, you can actually see it's ripping apart a giant fish.
What is that one doing?
That is a juvie, and this fish, the tail comes all the way down to here, and the head's off screen. That's how long it is. And it's just a flock of eagles were ripping it apart.
Yeah, flock of eagles are good at that.
Mm-hmm. So that's basically what I do in a nutshell. Is I spend a lot of time tracking animals, doing nature photography, and helping in DNR and protection and stuff for wild animals and stuff.
Is the eagle work the most recent photography you've done?
Those ones were actually from February.
Okay, because I know you were doing other animals too.
Yeah,
besides just the eagles.
Yeah, it's not just eagles, but I take mostly eagles during winter because we don't get a lot of other animals, and we get a lot of eagles.
Ah, cool.
They like their mating season here in the snow for some stupid reason.
Oh yeah, those are good pictures.
They definitely are. I love the zoomed in ones.
Oh, let's see if I can find my favorite recent shot I got, which is the closest I've managed to get to one in the wild yet. This is right now my favorite recent shot. And this one was out in the wild along the river.
Nice.
You got a really good look at the eye itself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Good picture. I like that.
The details in the feathers, shit. That's sweet.
Thank you. So as you can kind of tell a little bit of my life here, just a little bit. And I record videos off and on, and I make stuff out of them. Like I think, let me see, what was the last thing I freaking posted for videos? Now I have to use my brain. Ouch. I mean, I'm trying to think here. The last one I actually posted, the last video I posted is actually named Eagle Eating. It's actually close-up footage of a bald eagle while it's eating, including like partway through it zooming in on the face while he's taking bites, so you can actually see the blades on their tongue working the fish and stuff like that.
Wow. Curious Comics says those are good.
Thank you.
Des says, wait, your husband engineers airplanes. You are a bird of prey expert, but you can't find common ground?
I didn't say we can't find common ground. I said when he starts talking about technology, I get lost. We have plenty of places we can find common ground. They're very nerdy places. But when I talk about literature and mythology, and he talks about work, we kind of just... It's like the adults in Peanuts talking when he starts talking about programming and Diffie Q and physics and stuff. And I'm sitting there going, I short circuit like I'm in iMud. I mean,
wouldn't that be a trip if you guys like sort of cross trained so that you became a physics and aeronautics expert, and he did heavy photography and crafts and jewelry making.
Crafts and jewelry making is not going to happen. He does actually do photography with me sometimes.
Okay.
I've been teaching him. He's actually gotten some good shots over the years.
Cool. You're still using traditional cameras or digital SLRs, right?
They're digital, but they're actual full true cameras and all that. Yeah.
35 millimeter?
No, I can't. I don't. I know there's specs on them, and then I try to think about the specs, and my brain goes stupid.
All right.
I know my recent camera I got at the end of last year actually has 125x zoom on it.
Yeah, every time I talk to Android phone users, they're always hyping up how you can do huge amount of zoom on a smartphone. I wonder if
zooms are garbage because they're not actually zooming; they're altering the pixelation, so you can't blow the images up or do other stuff correctly with them. You need a physical zoom, or otherwise your quality goes down the more you zoom.
That makes sense.
Yes, you can find great videos explaining what the giant equations do and why they're important just using regular words.
Oh, it still confuses me. I'm going to be honest.
I think he's talking about some metaphysical stuff.
Yeah. I'm very kind of odd in some ways because I'm not going to sit here and put myself down and stuff. I know what my IQ is. I know I'm not stupid. I'm just stupid on some topics, you know?
Right.
Well, metaphysical and stuff like that is more of a right brain activity. You might. It's
psychology, mythology, history, cultural development, animals, species, artistic stuff, all literature. That's me. My husband's all math, science, computers, technology, and all that, and that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
basically the only real common ground we have for activities we both love is out tracking animals and doing the photo work.
I think Tess is in metaphysics. Have you ever read any of the works of Stuart Wilde, Tess? He's written a lot of books on the occult and metaphysics.
The name sounds familiar, but it's not coming to me.
Oh, a great author, one of my favorite writers of all time. And this book deals a little bit with my book deals a lot with metaphysics and horror and
That's the part
the occult.
that gets to me at times, I think, is that with all this stuff, it's bad enough remembering names for me and I don't remember them well, but when I try to remember and use numbers, it really screws up my head. And I could sit here and explain things and then I try to remember the name of what I was just explaining for an hour and my brain goes, dude, what were you saying? But at least, I got seizure damage and Parkinson's. I have an excuse. I mean,
I get it.
so it's like, I literally have to make like 1,000 notes everywhere to remind me what shit is and remind me what I need to get done and stuff. It's like,
Stuart Wilde was a writer of the occult, metaphysics, and philosophy. All of that combined in one. And he wrote a really great book called Life.
Oh man, audio cut out again.
He wrote a great book called Life Was Never Meant to Be a Struggle. And it's a fantastic book, and you should read it. And it's a really great read. It's a fun read, and it's short and sweet, and it's just a fantastic book. And highly recommend. And
trust me, reading you can totally get down for. I mean,
I like it.
I do, where's my brain? Where's my brain? Move shit a sec. Move shit
he
a sec.
also has some of his other books that deal a little bit more with talking about words that are power and thoughts. There's a book called The Quickening, and that's a good book he wrote too. Highly recommend.
That one I am aware of some. So yeah, I did know. I also like to do stuff like this.
No, hold up. Let me begin you. Oh yeah.
Whoa! Look at that dragon.
That's one of the ones I did. In fact, my initials are actually carved into it.
You made that.
It's ceramic mold, but yeah, I made them painted.
Nice.
All right.
I build stuff out of broken down statues and stuff I find at garage sales. Like the broken statue that was at a garage sale. It was dirty, it was stained, the wings were broken everywhere and stuff. This is what it looks like after I repaired it.
Nice fairy.
Angel.
Oh, nice angel.
And I have a base I made for it to go on top of that has 4 different angels with different cultures on them around it that displays her.
Ooh, all right.
So, yeah, that's the stuff I do.
Did you finish that giant dragon?
It's basically I just need to do the final dry brush on it. I just have to finish stuff for Mom and have a short time, so I got switched off task for a few.
Right. Des says, that's how I recently got back into physics. I have not. I minored in philosophy in what turned out to be a top program, and reading a bunch of Robert Anton Wilson as a teen turned me on to those subjects. I'm quite familiar with occult/mystic stuff, but it's an enormous ocean and I'm a tiny island.
Yeah.
No, the whole, what would be considered occult and mystic and all that, it goes right into it because I am obsessed with mythology, history, cultures, religions, and stuff because I really believe there's no greater way to understand the psychology of man. There's no greater way to understand our differences and our similarities than to study how different groups explain the unexplainable, developed and adapted to the land that they were on, all that stuff. And the greatest representation of that is what became the legend, what became folklore, what became religion, because that was their way of delving into those things and expressing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Man used to be obsessed with the unknown and what he could not see. And we've gone away from that.
Well, some of us.
Yeah.
Some of us still are. I love delving that world. But it's sad because, yes, we may be able to explain more with modern science, but we are still a very feckless little Absidarian race. We don't know that much when you look at the grand scheme of things. And we should always be ever striving to understand more, research more, try to grow more, try to become more spiritual or more scientific, but beyond what we already know. And I don't mind if somebody wants to be as atheist as hell or as religious as hell, as long as they're basing it in study and knowledge and trying to better themselves. You know?
Oh, yeah. I get it.
Question with boldness the very existence of God. For surely if there's one, he preferred honest questioning over blindfolded fear.
That's a very good question, Curious Comics. The answer is yes.
Every person who has a faith believes that theirs is correct. That's how we reach our faith. That's just the nature of human development. We study these things, we research these things, we have these experiences, and they lead us to believe that this is the true faith. And for anybody to say that they don't believe that either one is the wrong and one is the right, or they don't believe that it's all wrong, is disingenuous. But there's a difference in I believe my faith is right versus I believe my faith is right, so I'm going to enforce it on others. And that's where the balance line is.
It's possible that we just people were experiencing similar things and just call the things that they were experiencing different names.
Yeah. And there is an amount to that too. Well, like I said, in the end, we pick our religion based on what we think is the right path. So to say that, no, I don't think it's other people are incorrect or right or wrong. Of course, we all have a bias towards our own opinions.
Yeah.
That's healthy as long as we don't let it create in us an intolerance towards other opinions.
Yeah. No, I agree. But a lot of the intolerance comes. So accepting, and not just accepting. I mean, like we all have to, we can't just coexist and be accepting. We all have to. It goes back to that. You have to believe everything I believe type thing. You know what I mean? And
it's not
that's
just
where a lot of resistance comes from.
A lot of these atheist communities are the same way, where if you believe in religion, you shouldn't be in government, or all this stuff, or bashing people of faith. It's like, that's just the same thing. You're no better than the people you say are religious extremists who are trying to enforce their faith or beliefs on others. It should be, I don't agree, but let's find out why we disagree on this. Let's talk. Let's have educated debates. The whole concept of never discuss religion or politics, I think, actually hindered culture and development so much, because it became we were not going to agree, so let's just not argue. Well, so you're not learning how to argue and debate and discuss and still find the common ground.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you're right. I mean, but that's where where national cohesiveness would come in handy, where we disagree on some things, but we believe in this one particular thing together. So it's okay that we disagree on these subjects, because we're all American, we all live here, we all love our country, but it ain't like that no more. Unfortunately. But you should question everything you believe and why you believe it. That's the
That's a one of the paths to true inner discovery and growth. If you can't question what you believe and why you believe it, you'll never grow.
Mhm.
Exactly. I want to debate. I want to discuss. I want to hear different viewpoints. I want to see other people's beliefs. And I'm not threatened by that. Because if I'm confident enough in my faith, hearing other viewpoints isn't going to change me. And if I changed, then my faith had issues and I needed to grow and change.
Yeah, when you question what you believe, either like one or two things are that your beliefs that you had are going to be reinforced.
Mm-hmm.
And you may drop particular parts of that belief and add new ones to it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. It's like I've talked to too many people who think once they found a faith, they need to just quit trying to grow and research faith. It's like, look, I'm open about it. I don't care if people look down on it. Yes, I am a little Christian girl. I am also very much a tribal naturalist, and I do not think they counter each other. I don't think that they're unable to coexist as part of the same faith. I don't have a problem with anybody of any faith as long as they're genuine and they're trying to find the answers to life and they're trying to grow, you know?
Yeah. Question everything, even yourself, but never forget who you are.
Exactly. And it's okay to question what you believe as long as you keep yourself grounded as you do it. I think our world is better off when more people are willing to question the things around them
I
and
was
what
watching on
they are.
Instagram. This was very interesting. In Japan, they don't teach. They wait a little while before they teach kids English, math, and science. They wait a little while because when they're very young, they put these kids together and they teach them working together. They teach them cleaning together. They teach them honor together. So they teach them honor first. They teach them honor before math even comes into the equation, before science even comes to the equation. It's all about honor and working together. And then, and then when they get a little older, after they done taught them honor and how to work together, their grades are just skyrocketed. And you know, and you look at over here, they teach them writing and all this other stuff younger, you know, but they don't have honor. It's like you teach them honor and everything else falls into place.
I'm pretty sure I saw the same video.
That was the thing also with my upbringing. The first things I learned were how to take care of people, how to help others, how to take care of my medical issues, how to help Dad with his, how to do all that stuff. And then went thrown into learning to read and stuff like that, with my brother teaching me Shakespearean poetry and higher thinking and stuff like that right off the bat. And I think in some ways that was beneficial. In some ways it was difficult, but in some ways it helped me keep more of an open mind to more concepts and more out there, instead of just becoming a robot who's trained to do certain activities.
Yeah. Question my mic. I'm going to get a mic, Curious Comics. I'm working on it.
That was funny, actually. Sorry.
I didn't know it was that bad. I have to rewatch the stream.
You've cut out several times, actually.
All right, Curious Comics. See you, bro.
For a while, and then you cut out, and then you're like,
it could be the weather I'm having here too. The weather's been pretty rough.
Which is a fair also possibility.
Have a good day, Curious Comics. Take it easy. Thanks for popping in. Yes. But the thing is, every religion is inherently elitist. A few people really get it, but moral guidelines and ritual for most.
I disagree, actually.
Well,
While the practice and the interaction with most religions can come off that way. The faith itself is not. Or as there's a great quote from one of the comedians I grew up listening to where the Lord calls us sheep. Why? Because sheep are dumb. In other words, he makes himself easily accessible to all.
Mhm.
I don't think faith itself is elitist. I think the people who have misused it for personal gain are.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
I agree 100% with that.
And those people are disgusting horror shows, and I can rant on that topic because I went through one of the private schools for Native kids.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Which is basically conversion therapy for being the wrong race and religion.
Mm.
And they didn't like me very much. I can't imagine why. Don't I seem like the type who would just sit there and do what they tell me? I mean,
Outspoken. What are your thoughts on the idea of the Native Americans going into the whole casino industry? Do you think it's beneficial in the long run, or do you think
no.
Uh,
Most of the tribes get nothing from it. The only people who get the money from that are the tribal leaders who are already in the pocket of the government anyways. There's a few tribes where members actually get anything out of it. Mostly it's just reinforcing the power of the people the government picked to control the tribes.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not stepping a foot in a casino. I have a addictive personality.
Oh, gotcha.
That'd be very bad for me.
I have to set foot in casinos, but that's to go to comedy shows or other stuff that we're at one.
Right. I love Vegas, but when I go, it's usually to, catch shows and take advantage of buffets because I love to eat. And when I do gamble, it's usually penny slots or quarter slots at most, but a lot of penny and nickel slots. But there something I had not tried in my 2 visits there is zip line. So whenever I get around to going back out there, I do want to try the zip line. I hear it's fun.
So I had a friend who would actually take advantage, because a lot of casinos will offer, like, they'll give you so many free credits on your birthdays, but they're specialized credit that's non-transferable. You can't cash it in. You have to gamble it.
Right, right.
So what she would do is on her birthday, she'd go hit all these casinos and use those and do these little careful bets that are more likely to have some return and cash out an amount at each one in the credits she won off the games.
Nice.
And she'd make money off doing this by taking advantage of that. The reason they do that is because most people, when they come in, if they get so many free credits that they have to gamble, won't be able to stop by the time they hit the end of those credits.
Right.
And they'll start spending.
Yep.
She did this, and she'd rake in like $1,000 plus on each birthday doing it. So she just hit these casinos and she'd take the free money, and then whatever she could win while betting that money, she'd cash out and leave and go to the next one. So it depends on your personality. I couldn't do that. I'm too OCD. I would get hooked. I know I would. Because once I get into a movement or an action, I get stuck doing it for quite a while. So if I did that, it would be very bad.
Generally speaking, I think I'd be able to control myself, but what I do is, or what my family has done is basically budget. We would only go there if you could afford to do the trip. And then every day you have a budgeted amount to play with as spending money. And then you make sure you get like 2 cups. 1 cup is the money you're spending from. The empty cup is the money that holds any winnings you happen to get. And then you take home whatever's in the winnings cup without spending it.
See, that's fine for some people, and there's some people who can't do it. If you can do it right, you can go into casinos and not really lose much money or even make money.
Right.
But you have to be able to have that self-control that most people do not have.
Yeah.
I am too OCD. I would be doing it without even thinking. Because once I get into something, I get in a linchpin and repetitive motion.
Right.
So it'd be really dangerous for me because once I start betting, my hands would be doing it automatically.
I did mess up one time when I think it was a quarter machine where I played for a little and eventually built it up to like $80. And then I didn't stop when I should have, when I was, I had trouble judging when everything was the floor would fall out under me. And I went and ended up losing it. So, although
it's a hard thing, and that's the thing is they know they're taking advantage of this. Now, look, let's be honest. The casino concept was let's soak a little money out of the white man that screwed us. That's where it came from. I'm not going to be dishonest here. It was a little payback thing they were trying to do. Same reason why we gave you guys tobacco. I mean, sorry. Sorry, just being honest. I admit the failings and the bitter side of my own people very easily. I mean, just like I've heard people say all these things about natives. Well, part of that is ignorance and bigotry. Part of that is sometimes we will say shit just to take the piss out of white people and see if they'll believe it about us. And I've heard some crazy shit. People go, well, somebody from the tribe told me that. It's like they were fucking with you.
You mean like skinwalkers?
Like what?
Like skinwalkers?
No, that is actually part of the mythology.
Skinwalkers are real.
No, but I'm talking that will do things like one of the ones that happened was they were convincing a group of tourists that you could kill a bison with a bow and arrow, when they used to try to compete to see if you could kill more than one in one shot and stuff. And they actually believed it. And I'm sitting there going, dude, that's not a thing. Their hides are incredibly hard. They had to drive them off a cliff to kill them. Even with a gun, you can shoot one in the temple and they'll still sometimes live. That's
they warned me about skinwalkers, and I'm very appreciative. Yeah, I stay the hell away from you guys.
Like I said, so there's a balance to it, because sometimes we're talking and we're honestly trying to share our culture and stuff, but there's an amount of sometimes they say shit just to see if they can convince the dumb tourists of shit. and it makes me laugh sometimes because it's literally that's when they pull out but I was told that by the tribe. It's like they're fucking with you. Nobody believes that, and as soon as you left, they were laughing their asses off.
I can believe it.
I've watched this happen on the res so many times where people would come onto the res visit and they'd start talking to them, and you'd watch it happen. They'd tell them a bunch of true stuff. They'd give them some cultural advice. They'd give them some advice for how to survive in the desert, and then they'd start mixing in stuff that gets more and more ludicrous. And you could see them winking and smiling at each other while they're telling the people this. And as soon as the tourists leave, they're rolling in their seat laughing, going, do you believe what that white man believed?
Yeah, I am. Wait, I've got to go. I've enjoyed being on the stream, wise guy.
Hey, thanks for popping in, PowerMax.
And tell Boldcat hi.
Tell who?
Tell Boldcat hi.
I'll tell him hi. Yeah, I definitely will. It was nice to meet you, Eagle Rider.
I've done karaoke's and stuff with him over with Dark Gift before. I know him.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's a great singer. Really is. Yeah, so we'll have to do this again. I had a blast being on the show, and everybody in the chat, Test, Curious Comics. Nice meeting you guys as well. And I'll stay on the lookout. Check me out on Instagram, and got a little YouTube channel that I've not loaded content to in a long time, but that's going to change. And Last Days of the Bad Moon is coming soon. Be on the lookout.
Cool.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Hey man, anytime.
Have a good
Take
day.
it easy now. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.
Wise guy, do you realize how long we've been talking and streaming?
Almost 3.5 hours.
Was this your intention when I came on a couple minutes into your stream? No.
I was expecting to be on maybe a couple hours and then get in the stream and then try and connect with you through another stream and talk there and then go straight to work. But actually,
it's been fun though.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I've had a blast.
And I think you need to get to work soon, don't you?
Yeah, I start work in 25 minutes, so I'll be.
Oh, get your ass out there! Get ready for work.
Oh, there we go again.
Fucking hell! Get yourself ready for work.
Now that was a different tone. Instead of one long one, it was a short one followed by a longer one. All right, let's just hope it continues booting. At the very least, once I'm all done, I should be able to at least be running the operating system that my laptop is on, High Sierra 10.13, OS 10.13. Okay, let me see. Just says Spartans were famous for just fucking with people like, we only eat this disgusting stew to be strong. Find the others, brother. I got to go get a pack of cigarettes. Okay. I will probably be, the stream will probably be over by the time you return from getting cigs. But Rosetta, you want to tell everyone how to find you?
Look for Eagle Rider on YouTube, and you'll find the nice avatar of a busty native chick riding an eagle. Obviously, that's me for a lot of snarky reasons. Or you can go to Rose M Queen 1 over on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and watch me slap around trolls for pure entertainment. Other than that, just watch for the streams, and I do videos and streams quite often.
Sweet. Alrighty. And you can find me at the usual places. I'm most often on, when I stream nowadays, I'm broadcasting to YouTube and Twitch and Twitter. And on Twitter, I'm at Wise Guys Tweets. And on YouTube, I'm at Wise Guys Entertainment. I want to start adding some more streaming and also more pre-loaded or uploaded videos, and go into shorts and go into comic book reviews.
Get your ass monetized.
Yeah, exactly. Or gotta get off my ass, period. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us today. 13 people still in the chat. That's awesome. I am blessed and lucky. Thanks very much, Rosetta. And thanks for
Nice
for joining us on the panel. And we shall see you on the next stream. Oh, you know what? My notifications are in the way. All right, take it easy, y'all. Bye.